So I had the pleasure of watching the most recent Haikyuu movie, and there was a couple of things that I was worried about when watching this. I was worried whether or not if it's going to feel sped up in comparison to the written material. How much are they going to cut off? Because that's going to be inevitable, right? They're going to cut off a lot of things in the movie to make it fit the movie, right? It was going to be the match between Karasuno and Nakoma. This was the one that we were waiting for, right? The battle at the dump, the garbage dump. Didn't they call it the battle at the dump? But it's the battle at the garbage dump, right? It's the cats versus the crows. Everyone was hyped about this, right? This is the one that we've been waiting for. The ultimate rivalry. Tenma, who is, the setter, but the genius setter, and Shoyo. Will a solid team that analyzes very, very well be able to stand up against the powerhouse main team, Karasuno? For a long time, Nakoma has been dominating Karasuno. They've been rivals. The schools have been rivals for a long time since the previous coaches. Though the coach of Karasuno has retired and it's a new generation of coaches, but the coach from Nakoma stuck behind. I think this was supposed to be his last year, but regardless, it was the battle between those two. I'm not gonna spoil too much because, bro, I'm just gonna talk about how this anime felt. Because this whole movie, I was concerned. Because it was a matter of how well is it going to be paced? How long is it going to be? Usually, if this was going to be a season, this was going to be straight 12 episodes. This movie was going to be straight 12 episodes. I would say that they did a freaking damn good job in depicting that whole match as a whole movie. I was like, how is this movie going to be just one match? And to be honest, it felt like we were watching an actual volleyball match with, the occasional hype moments, the slow-mos, this and that. And Production IG did a phenomenal job with the animation. The animation went super dumb, right? The spikes, them running back and forth, the blocks. Oh my god, everything was done so well. And even though this was a movie and there was a bit of flashback here, they did cut a certain part, but it did not take away the gravity of the match and the rivalry between the two schools. When Hinata was getting a little frustrated at a certain point, you could feel it. The emotions that each character were feeling, the pettiness that you felt between Kuro and Suki, right? I will say, I mean, to be fair, also in the manga, I didn't feel much presence from Yamaguchi, but Yamaguchi did have his shine here, a little bit of shine. Daichi didn't get much shine, but Sugawara got his moments. We got to see him super hyped, super energized this whole match. Even though he didn't play that much in this, I felt like a lot of the focus, and I think Haikyuu always does a good job with this, is on both sides, Kenma and also Hinata. I feel like those two were the main focuses of this whole movie, to be fair, right? Because those two are the considered rivals, and then Hinata is the considered main character alongside with Kageyama. Haikyuu does this thing where they do such a good job in making you care about the other team. Even though you want the other team to lose and you want Karasuno to win, depending on what side you're on, right? You tend to care about both teams and the characters that are in it. And they really exemplify each character and their own personalities, whether if they're similar to the person on the other team or if it's a counter personality to the other person on the other team. I think they do such a phenomenal job at that. I talked about that when I was reacting to Haikyuu. It's so good. Did I mention the animation was so good? I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's one more movie, and I am curious how that's going to go. I don't want to talk about what that movie is going to be. I mean, considering that there's going to be one more movie should kind of headline how this movie went and the match went. It makes me curious how it's going to go. Me and Wake, who is the person that got me into Haikyuu, we joked about how, oh man, they're gonna change the way the story went. As a joke, but I highly doubt they're gonna do that considering how much effort was put into this movie. But I can say a lot of the things that were in the manga are definitely getting cut out, like matches are getting cut out, certain matches are getting cut out just to focus specifically on Karasuno and their journey. I don't know how I feel about that. It could go either way, but they could make it in a sense for whatever the next match is going to be that we're still going to get some feelings on both sides of the teams. We're not going going to feel any less because certain things were cut out. Considering how this movie went, because this movie, emotions were there, the animation was there, and it did not feel fast-paced at all. For me personally, for someone who read it, it just honestly, usually like movies are about 2 hours. This one was just an hour and a half, and it did not feel drawn out, and it didn't feel too fast-paced. It just felt like we were watching a regular volleyball match. We went straight into it when we watched it. So nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I think they did a phenomenal job. Let me know if you guys watched it in the comments section below. I think it's about to be done showing, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be on Crunchyroll a little bit later. Haikyuu was a great movie. Cannot wait for the second movie. And then probably, if anything, the endings are going to be OVAs. That's the prediction Wake made. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know your predictions, how it's going to go. Do you think they're going to change the ending? I don't know. Also, I'm just throwing this at the very end because it happened in the movie. People left the movie super early without knowing there was an end scene. There was an end scene after the credits. And every time you guys tell me I missed the freaking end credits.